Virtual reality will force us to ask, what is real? It will be up to our children to find the answer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to your favorite What the Famicom subsidiary. This is OMG, OM Game Boy
Oh,
podcast. That's my first time saying it. I'm your host, Nick, aka Nick VR Tendo. That's a really
damn,
bad
that's
one.
a stretch. I'm
I know.
Dan, also known in some parts of the world as Virtual Dan Allett. That's a lot harder than you think. Even
That's what I
add
said. Yeah.
three letters in there. Virtual Reality Dan. There we go.
Oh, that was pretty good, actually. Virtual reality, Nick. I couldn't have done it. I think it just works better with yours.
Nick.
Just sounds way better. Well, you already guessed it, guys, from the name of the episode. Everyone clicking in, doing this in your bathroom, at work. This is the VR episode everyone's been waiting
This
for.
actually, people don't know this, but they'll be able to see it. This episode is actually being released in VR.
Is it? So you'll be able to kind of look around the rooms here?
You'll be able to look around my room. Yeah.
That's crazy. What do you think we would see?
Don't go in my bathroom.
Oh, that's actually the only spot VR goes.
That's the only. So it's the only spot that VR is programmed to go in someone's bathroom.
Yeah, I think I heard about a game like that, wasn't there?
Probably.
Like over Christmas. I believe I heard about some games that
Yeah,
took
this
place
is
in your
I
bathroom.
mean, I know we're a very ambitious podcast. I know we do a lot
That's
of weird
us.
things, but like if you watch this on the Oculus or the Apple, what is it, the Apple Pro?
Yeah, the Apple Pro.
If you watch this
MetaQuest.
episode, you can see everywhere 360 in our entire room.
You
You'll
can
see
look
the
around
back
and
of my head
actually
is shaved. You'll see this is only the front. I'm naked behind this.
he can't afford a back half
I
of his
can't afford the back of
clothes.
my shirts. I need money. That's why the podcast is back.
Yeah, it's back, baby. He needs a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I do actually.
I know. See? Yeah, so if you look around here, you'll see much more interesting things like a bass guitar, acoustic guitar, a TV. Dan actually can't afford a TV, so sometimes I will call him, FaceTime him, and let him watch whatever's on our TV.
And sometimes I face my window and I take
Yeah,
my remote control and act like I'm changing the channel when someone walks
but
by.
it's people walking by.
And I'm like, I don't like this one. Yeah. Anyway, like Nick said, this episode is about virtual reality, VR. You could say, VR, you serious about it? Dan and
Oh,
Nick?
dude, that was good. Good reveal.
But so a lot of podcasts talk about the new tech. We're not here to talk about the new tech. If you want new tech, go to another podcast. We're here to talk
Damn.
about the aesthetic that the 80s and 90s brought to the virtual reality genre.
Mm.
Because when virtual reality first came out, everyone thought it was literally like the most amazing thing ever. And obviously, you look at it now, it's like as the wavy 80s, 90s aesthetic backgrounds and like the ads for AI or not AI, the ads for VR are people like with wires coming out of their head and coming out of like gloves.
Yeah. That's dude, that was the literally the image. I think one you sent back and forth that we were joking about. It's the NASA lady, so she's wearing the NASA goggles. It's this huge thing that sticks to her
It's
face.
the picture
And
I
she's
sent. I think that's gonna make the artwork. Yeah,
oh, is it? Okay. Well, they'll see. But
yeah,
yeah, and the like the all the wires coming off of each
yeah.
finger and everything like that.
You had to be
That's
literally connected every which way to participate in any form of VR.
yeah. And it was really still crudely poorly drawn with like barely 3D plane models and everything. And it would be like the surface would just be like one long polygon
Yeah.
with like maybe a couple different angles on it.
So I figured first off we'll talk about some VR. So I found an ABC News report on YouTube,
Hmm.
and basically in the report they're talking about like AI or I don't know why I'm replacing VR with AI. I want to suck AI's dick or something. I don't know.
Wow.
Um, but VR is like this is the most amazing thing ever. This guy created a deathmatch video game. So this one guy created. He was like the first person to mass market and produce VR headsets, and they created a game called Nightmare, and it's a two-player deathmatch game. It might be the first like deathmatch game to be honest, but the reporter was playing it and the guy that created it were playing it, and it's just you're just facing each other with lasers on like a crudely two-layer level, and sometimes
Hmm.
pterodactyls came down and picked you up. That was like a
That's kind of
really
cool.
weird addition. And the guy towards the end, like you're seeing the shitty graphics, which is like the funniest thing ever, and it's
Yeah.
moving super slow. And the reporter was like, "I gotta take this off. I'm actually getting dizzy."
Yeah, dude,
Like,
that's hilarious. I love when I hear stuff like that.
yeah. But they also said in the video that the price tag and the fucking guy, the anchor in the video, made it seem like this was a deal, which it might have been a deal then, but he was like, the VR headsets go from $50,000 to $200,000.
I think they're selling them to like bowling alleys or like
Oh, so that's not like a person buying
yeah.
them.
Yeah, it's like for
Now
a
it makes more
place,
sense.
and now you charge like $5 every time someone uses it, and it's like,
Okay.
could you recoup your money? Could you not? I don't know. It
Yeah, the
depends.
other parts of VR they were showing were like people in dinosaur times. They were also showing like two purple aliens like making out. This is not a joke. You can watch the video and it's like
How
VR
many
is the
times
best.
did you watch the video? I
I
know
put watched it in slow motion.
in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
But yeah, I always was I'm always fascinated by out of touch I don't know, news reports like that weren't really out of touch, but it's like
Sure,
this is the
it's
best thing
dated.
ever. It can't get any better than this. And maybe like a
Yeah,
year later it did.
it's way better.
But also a thing that like kind of timestamps it is in 1991 when this shit is like they think it's the most amazing thing ever. Hollywood and even TV shows probably try to capitalize on them. So you have a movie that comes out in the 90s and it has VR, crude VR from the time. That movie automatically ages poorly, like not just the VR.
Right. Well, that's because anytime you use technology as like your fulcrum, I'm sorry, dude, big word
Oh,
alert.
look at that. Big word.
Um, it gets dated very quickly. You have to use it as like a addendum. Another big word. Oh my God, I used
Stop.
two big words. I'm done for the day, folks.
My two big word quota.
Yeah, I did. I hit it. But I actually think it's kind of charming when they show that kind of stuff. Like right now, you're hating on new VR, but in like 20 years, won't you look at it and be like, it was so dumb?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't
So
even know. I guess I know Oculus and I guess I know Apple. I don't know what
have
else.
have you used any of the new ones?
I was over my cousin's house and his son put a VR and they played the laser battle
Okay,
or laser. We're going with music. I don't remember what it was.
sure. I don't know.
I
Oh,
sound like a fucking.
the
I just
saber,
turned 40 and I sound like a 40-year-old.
saber.
Saber beat,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
saber
Saber
beat.
beat.
That's what it was.
Yo, could you do it?
I think it was on like the easy difficulty, so I think I was okay.
All right. Yeah, he
And then
said
I probably
okay.
threw up on my cousin's kid.
So even funnier is the fact that I knew it would make you dizzy and that you wouldn't be able to do it for a long
Yeah,
time.
I
And
can't do roller coasters.
you just made fun of a newscaster who couldn't do the cornier version back in 1980, whatever.
Here's the worst thing too.
Okay.
Like I'm just imagining this. The people I'm making fun of were probably younger than me. Like the news anchor, he looked like old as dirt, but he was probably younger than me at the time.
Yeah, probably, dude.
Like
Think about that.
people, it's so weird. Like looking at people from the 90s and 80s too. Like I don't know. Like the weird fucking moment in
Well,
time where VR
it's
was the
all
world.
weird.
Yeah.
But my son has a an Oculus Rift, I think. Yeah, it's Oculus Rift. And he has some games. But one of the coolest ones is that Super Hot. You ever played that?
Yeah. I play that on regular
So good.
consoles. How about this? Whatever you say, I'm
Okay.
gonna pretend like I didn't know, and I'm gonna say, VR, you serious?
Yeah.
All right,
So you can
so
like
say the
I
question
know
again.
I'm setting you up. I got
Yeah.
it here. So anyway, yeah, you play in it and it's crazy. You get to pick your gender.
VR, you serious?
See, I'm not surprised by that because it's 2025, but you apparently are. The other one is you have to pay your taxes in the one game.
VR, you serious?
See, he's never paid taxes. No, not once. I hope the government records us. Anything else? Let's see here. In one game, you get to talk to girls.
VR, you serious?
Got him. Cooked him. Cooked his ass.
Um, so we also looked up some movies that had dated VR in them.
Correct.
And you said when I had this idea this episode, you
Uh-huh.
said "So all you want to do is just talk about Lawnmower Man. Because if you listen to our last episode, we gave you a hint. We said
Yeah.
lawnmower. Of course,
Yeah.
the Stephen King adapted movie Lawnmower Man is specifically about a simple man who's a lawnmower man for Pierce
hmm
Brosnan.
hmm
And I think Pierce Brosnan asked him if he wants to experiment with him.
I think so. That's because otherwise, how would he be able to
Yeah, that's
get
true. And there's
involved with
also a
this? Yeah.
monkey. Yo, if you can find the screenshot too. It's the lawnmower man. I don't know what his name is in the movie, but he's holding a monkey, and the monkey
hmm
has a VR headset on his head. And
It's
it's
perfect.
like I think it's a
It's.
real monkey too, which is even crazier. In the 90s, you could put VR headsets on monkeys.
I guess you could. There were no rules back then
There's
on
no
what
fucking rules in
or
movies.
you could put on a monkey.
But yeah, the VR in that movie is
It's
when
bad.
he's screaming, when he's got like a bald head and he's like, "I'm a god!" Like it's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. It's
So maybe I don't hate VR from the 90s. Maybe I do love it.
see, it's everything's just all about perspective, and that's
Yeah.
hilarious perspective. That's all.
Did you look up any movies that might have had dated VR in them?
No, I just was going to mention the
Literally just gonna
lawnmower man.
mention Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, that's all I had for this. I
So
think.
a few others. I guess it's not the 90s because the 90s was like peak for this, but
hmm
Tron, the
Tron.
video game movie,
Um
because he
yeah,
goes into the video game. It's not really VR. but
Kind of.
yeah.
He puts on a headset to go into it, I guess, does he?
Does he? I don't remember
I
that.
don't remember how he goes in.
A specific scene from a futuristic movie called Johnny Mnemonic. Do you remember Johnny Mnemonic?
Yeah, but I don't recall a
It
VR
was
scene.
Keanu Reeves in a cyberpunk movie, but at some point he's like, I gotta go into the net. And he puts on a giant headset and he puts on gloves with wires. And he's like, they show him
Yeah,
like doing this, like as
yeah.
himself. And then they show the view of the VR and he's like,
It's doing that same
yeah,
thing.
going
That's
through the
perfect.
internet, touching stuff. It's great.
Isn't the Matrix kind of VR?
That was on a lot of lists too. And I guess
Okay.
it was technically.
Yeah,
And
because you're getting
and
plugged
it was
into
still
it.
the 90s.
Oh, yeah, there you
Man,
go.
Keanu Reeves really loved VR.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I think in Speed. I
Can,
think he's wearing a VR headset in Speed.
can you play Cyberpunk with a VR headset?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You find out, dude.
What, you want me to buy a game for this podcast?
I want you to buy a
Hold
game
on. VR,
and a
you
VR
serious?
headset. Damn it, you got me. It's pretty good.
Another one is called Virtuosity. Have you ever heard of
Okay.
Virtuosity?
Nope.
It's Denzel Washington and Russell
Ah,
Crowe, one of Russell Crowe's first movies. And basically, Denzel Washington plays a cop who uses VR to catch criminals.
that's kind of. Is
And
it
Russell
really dumb?
Crowe is a villain they created in VR who escapes.
Okay, so it's
This
the
movie.
VR becomes a person.
Yeah, this movie is incredible.
So Russell Crowe has no identity. It's just like a
Honestly,
36 year
all
old
these movies
man,
are pretty incredible.
like a 30-year-old guy who just came out of a video game. He doesn't have
Yeah.
an ID or
And he's wearing a
anything.
suit the whole time. Oh, and another part, the only way to heal himself is he eats glass.
No, he
So he
doesn't.
starts eating glass. Like, you ever see the Grinch, the Jim Carrey Grinch? He eats
Yeah,
glass. He
yeah.
starts doing it like that. And he's like,
Do you
ah,
think Jim Carrey copied that?
yeah, Jim Carrey in the Grinch. He's like, I need inspiration to eat glass. And he saw Russell Crowe eating it.
That's perfect.
All right.
Hmm.
My last one, it's kind of a curveball, but it was actually one of the hints from the last episode.
Mm,
There is a movie with Demi Moore and Michael Douglas. It came out in 1994.
okay.
It's called Disclosure.
Hmm.
And basically, the movie is they both work for a corporation. Demi Moore tries to sexually assault Michael Douglas.
Hmm.
He takes some of it and then like pushes her away and like says, "We can't do this. I'm married, whatever." So then in the movie, she accuses him of raping her.
Oh,
So in order for him to prove his innocence,
yeah.
they work for a big corporation. So he uses this technology that the corporation is building, like a VR headset, to go into like the security camera files.
Uh-huh.
And so there's a scene in this like sexual thriller of Michael
Hmm.
Douglas with a giant headset on in VR. And it's so out of the blue. You could just find that scene on YouTube of him like pressing buttons and like in this like Egyptian area. Like it's so fucking stupid. But yeah, that's it's a one of a kind moment in a normal thriller about two adults having sex.
Is that literally the motivation for this episode?
That and Lawnmower Man. That and the monkey wearing the Lawnmower Man thing.
And POV VR.
Well, funny you say that
Oh no. Go ahead.
because the last thing I suggested
Uh-huh.
was if we can think of any, because I think there's a VR version of every game out there now. And now that there's
Yeah.
VR headsets, the possibilities are endless. But I was saying if you can think of any VR games or VR extensions of a game,
Yeah.
just make them up. I don't know if you made any up.
I thought of one, but it's kind of it's not a big leap and it's not even that interesting. It's just
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid.
That
I
is
think
very
it's
funny because I
espionage.
literally wrote Metal Gear Solid
Oh,
VR.
did you? Yeah, I just think it'd be
And
really
then,
cool
but then
to
I
do
erased it. But
because the espionage effect, like I think that would be really cool built into a VR game and like being able to look around and see all that would be really cool, especially
you
as you
can do
crawl
that in the
under things.
games.
I know, but it's
Yeah,
not it's
not
like
the
kind
same.
of just first person view. It's like very limited. I don't know.
Yeah. I have like four that aren't connected at all.
Oh,
My
geez.
first one is called Funeral VR.
So this is a real game or an idea for a game?
This is the idea for a game.
This is a great idea. Go ahead.
Um, you're at a well, so like you're at the funeral. Like you're just one
Mhm.
of the people at a funeral. And you kind of just look around and
Yeah.
people look and say like, "Oh, I know that's my cousin Gary." Like, right? The next one is called Burial VR,
Okay.
where you're just being buried alive. Like it's like the view of like you look,
Okay.
you're basically
Dirt.
just facing the guy shoveling dirt on you.
Yep. And your screen slowly
Can't
gets covered.
can't really
You
look
can look
anywhere, I
left.
guess.
You can
Can't
look left and right, but it's just dirt.
It's just dirt
Okay.
VR.
Okay.
Another one is electric chair VR. Um, can't really look anywhere either. Again, not really.
Can you
You're
see
just
other people on the other side of the
well, I
glass?
guess you're on the other side of the glass. You're looking at the families of the people that you killed. You're automatically a killer in this, by the way. And the next one, it's not even related, but kind of lethal injection VR.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a long game.
It doesn't sound like it's a very long game.
No,
It's
I
very
mean those are
fascinating.
just ideas that are like unconnected that you could
Okay.
make into games.
Okay. I like those ideas for games. I as you were talking, I thought of a cool one would be like a VR Zoom meeting and you get to like you get to attend a Zoom meeting from work,
Okay,
but it's in VR. You're not allowed to leave
so
your desk, but you can look at the different people in the meeting.
can you go in their rooms?
No, it's like you can just see them in
So it's
Zoom.
as if you're just watching a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, yeah, but
There's nothing VR
it's
about it.
it's VR. You can move your head up and down,
But
left
you
and
could do
right.
that in real life.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, it's just a unique perspective on it. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what in the 90s, this was
Hmm.
all unique. This was all unique perspective. If you want to go somewhere with pterodactyls coming down to pick you up while you're playing laser deathmatch with someone,
Yeah,
there you go. If you wanted to get wires hooked up in a glove and maybe be someone's lawnmower man, there you go.
you wanted to prove sexual assault did or didn't happen. You t put on VR and go into the security file footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go into security. It's going to deal with my work. I'm going to do something horrendous and then be like, I'm going to find the files in VR.
Well, what if it's like clog the toilet?
Wait, so that's the horrendous thing I did at my work,
Yeah,
but I need to prove my innocence, even though
yeah,
it's
you
not, I'm
gotta
not
prove.
innocent.
So maybe you follow what you ate for that whole day because you can't go into the
Yes.
bathroom. And you're like, there's no way I clogged the toilet. Look at me. It's like you grabbing a power bar and coffee and then an iced coffee, and you're like, I don't know,
But
maybe it was
chugging
me.
coffee, like chugging like
Yeah,
two
and
coffees at a time.
you're like, maybe it was me.
All right, well that's hey, as we like to say around here, we literally say it every episode. VR, you serious?
Are you serious?
So that's our VR episode. I love, I guess I turned around because at first I'm like,
I hate
it's
VR.
so funny, the aesthetic, it's shitty,
Hmm.
I hate it. And then talking about these movies, I'm like, no way, I love them.
It's kind of good. Like you don't want it to disappear forever.
Yeah.
We need VR in our lives, in our hearts.
So should we give a hint at our next episode, or do you want to just not do
Yeah,
that for
you can
this
give a
one?
hint.
So a hint for our next episode. Hmm. I'll say I can give one simple hint. Philadelphia.
Okay. I don't know the next episode yet because I remember the list, but I don't. Oh, I do.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Philadelphia
Okay.
and that's all I got.
You don't want to give away too much.
Cheesesteak? Yeah.
That's
Nah,
not
it's the
good.
same
How
as
about
Philadelphia.
no.
Oh, here, how about this?
Good.
Philadelphia and the next in is slur, but it's not in the way you think.
That's correct. Okay, I can see where you went with that.
See?
That
I can't
works.
get canceled because it's literally not it's
That's
not a
okay.
slur, it's the action of slurring.
This is what he says to me off the air every day. See, I can't get canceled because, and then he puts something in quotations. So
I
here we
said
are,
I was going to
folks.
try
We're
to trick
back.
my therapist into saying slurs.
Yeah, you did, which would be the funniest bit ever.
I said I was going to
Uh,
be like talking to my therapist and say like, "What's that word that racist people use? Like it's really
yeah.
offensive." And then he's just
Get
going
him
to
to say
say
it.
it.
Then you're gonna be like, gotcha.
Gotcha. And then click stop recording. Shit. All right,
Classic.
that's our
Okay.
episode. Yeah. Slurring and Philadelphia are my two hints for the next episode. And
Okay.
Nick does know what it is. So we
Gloves.
will we will see you next time.
All right, guys.
Hey,
See ya.
this is I don't know. I wish I had a VR headset. Yep. This is us in VR. Yo, POV, VR, MILF,
Don't,
POV,
don't,
FFM.
don't. All right.
All right, see
Game
you
over.
folks.